Good morning. Oh my goodness, this is my favorite time of year. So this week is pies and tarts galore. So I thought it might be fun to do this live. Every year I always share my pie recipe because it's such a foolproof recipe that I just think everybody needs to make their own, and so I continue to show it. I'm going to move the camera down just a little bit so you can see the bowl a little better. Here, I think we're good. All right, so what you'll need is 3 cups of all-purpose flour, unbromated, unbleached. I like King Arthur, but there's lots of good ones out there. Bob's Red Mill, there's just tons. I will go ahead and say 3 cups, and then we're gonna need 2½ sticks of butter. We're gonna need 4 eggs. So 2 are gonna be whole and 2 are gonna be egg yolks. And then of course you can make yourself some good old egg white omelet with the rest of them. All right, so what we're gonna need is a little pinch of salt as well. So we've got everything together. You don't need any water or anything else. All right, first we're gonna start with just going ahead and putting our butter into our flour. So we're gonna put those 2½ sticks in there. There we go. And I'm gonna grab myself a glove because I do this with my hands. And although normally I would do it with my hands and just wash my hands, this will make it easier. I only need gloves with one hand because the other hand will remain undone. Okay, we're gonna go ahead. I did go ahead and crack the eggs already because nobody really wants to watch me crack eggs. And maybe you don't want to watch me make pie dough either, but hopefully it's helpful. All right, I spent years and years making pies, hundreds of pies every holiday. We're just breaking up that butter in there until it gets to be, I don't know, maybe about a dime-sized pieces. Okay, then we're gonna add our 2 whole eggs. And then what I do is I just crack the eggs whole and remove the yolks. Yolk there. And then a little pinch of salt. You don't have to go crazy with the salt. Okay, let me wipe my hands here, and then we'll wash them after we're done. And we're just gonna get those eggs incorporated in there. That is plenty of moisture to bind this all together. And the reason for using the eggs and that quantity of butter is 1, it's very buttery and delicious. And 2, the eggs give it structure so that you don't have to refrigerate the pie dough forever and ever to get it to work. You can go ahead and roll it out right now and it will maintain its shape and its flavor. So if you're making a sweet pie dough and you wanted to add some flavorings, you could do that. If you're making a savory dough, you could add savory items to the dough at this point. And just like that, it's done. And then we divide it in half. Okay, so I've got 2 relatively shaped balls. You can actually stretch it out to 3 if you have smaller pie pans, but 2 is nice because then you have a little extra and you can make little pretty cutouts. Okay, we're gonna take off this glove. I'm gonna go wash my hands for a sec, and then we'll get rolling. All right, let's get our rolling pin out. I'm gonna show you how fast and easy you can do this. We need 2 sheets of plastic wrap. You could always roll it out in a steel pat if that works better for you, but it's harder to transfer onto the pie pan. I like this method. All right, we're gonna take our dough ball that we have, and I'm doing this in real time, so you know that it's just that quick. And we're gonna cover it with another sheet of plastic wrap. I'm gonna move this out of the way so that we have a nice surface to do this. So you can see this. A little bit closer so you can see better. Here we go. And we're just gonna roll. So I just go back and forth in the beginning and then back and forth the other direction. So we're just starting to get it to be a little bit longer. I'm not applying pressure, I'm just rolling back and forth. This is a French rolling pin, so it's a little thicker on the sides, a little thinner on, so you've got a little bit more grip on the side. It's good if you have small hands. Making sure that your plastic wrap doesn't crimp at all, because then it gets stuck underneath and it makes a mess. We're just gonna go around. So now we start from the center and pull towards us. Center, pull towards us, center and out. So you're going in a circle, so you end up with a circle. And once you get it to be a little bit larger, pie plate, I'm gonna flip it over, you can see it's a little bit larger. At this point, you can cut off the excess. So I'll show you how to do that. We want a plate that's a little bit bigger than our pie tin, right? So we have a little edge. So you flip it over here, and with the pizza cutter, you can cut all the way around it. That's a little fussy for me, so I like a little more rustic. So what I do is I just take off the top layer. I take my pie tin, I lay it over the top, I take my hand, I slip it underneath the plastic wrap, I spread my fingers open, and then I flip it over, okay? And then we're just gonna peel off this top layer, and then just lift up a little bit and push it in, right? Just lift it up, push it in. And then we're gonna go around and just tap our hand and cut off the excess. Now you could take your time, make it super, super duper pretty. And that's all good. And we're just gonna take off that excess and we'll put that back in the bowl for the next. We can roll that out and make all the pretty decorations on the top. I absolutely love baking. I love it, I love it. Now, I will say, I'm not eating any sugar, so I probably won't be eating this pie. But I did find at the market, and I'll show you when we're done here, a really cool low carb. I'll be trying. Okay, and it's local, which is great. Okay, so what we're gonna do is we're just gonna crimp, because people like pretty edges. So you can just take 2 fingers and a knuckle and just go through and do, or you can take, if that's too fussy for you, you can just take a fork. You know, sometimes you just don't want to fuss around and you don't want that edge. So we just go like this. All the way around, all the way around. We're going to give it some pokes in the center so we don't end up with any bubbles. And this is ready to go in the oven right as it is, okay? So you can put that right in the oven, blind bake it. That means bake it without anything in it until it's a little bit golden brown, and then you fill it. Now, if you're doing a double crusted, that's okay. You're gonna still bake this part and then you'll double crust it afterwards. What that does is it makes sure that the bottom is done. So you're not getting that mushy, raw dough at the end. It's gross. At the end of this pie, you should be able to flip the whole pie pan over and that bottom should be nice and done. That is the goal. That's what I look for in a good pie. Now, I'll take those scraps and I will roll them out and cut little shapes and make little pretty designs for the top of the pies. But you don't have to, right? At this point, you could just, this never goes to waste. At this point, you could just go ahead and press that down, stack it up, and put it in the refrigerator until you're ready to bake it. So you don't actually have to do it, or in the freezer. The freezer will hold for a good month. So I'm just gonna pop it in here, and then move on to the next one and the next one, and we just stack them up. And then once the pies are all done, then I'll move on to the tart. Tomorrow, I'll come back and show you what the tart dough looks like. It's absolutely foolproof, like you can't mess it up. It only has 3 ingredients, so it can't be very difficult. So for the rest of this pie dough, I'm gonna repeat that process. I'm gonna roll it out, I'm gonna stack it up, but this time I'm not gonna put it into a pie pan. I'm just gonna leave it in the plastic wrap and fold it in 4s, so that will become the top of the pie crust. So let's go ahead and do that real quick. We don't need all this dough because that's a lot, so we're just gonna push off some of it. We're just gonna press it down. And we're going to cover it and roll it out. Below this video, I'll put the ingredients and put the pie dough so you can make your own. All right, so go back and forth. Turn, go back and forth. Now, alternatively, you could actually turn the dough, but that's a lot of work. And then we go from center out. Center out. Center out. You should see, I used to live in an area of California where they made a lot of pies called Apple Hill. And I learned from some of the old ladies there who were just fabulous. They would pump out pies all day long with the fresh apples grown on the farms there. Every farm had their own bakery. Oh, it was such a dream. I always wanted a farm with a bakery. I have the farm, but I don't have any apple trees. So, all right, so at this point, that's our top of our pie. Now, if you want to, like I said, if you want to make it look all perfectly, then you take your plate and you roll it over, and then you take your pizza cutter and you go like this. You just go around, come back around, and it makes you look like a rock star because it makes you look like you know how to roll out the perfect pie crust. You just take off all that excess, pop it back in the bowl for later use, and voila, we have the perfect pie crust. Okay, so I'm going to cover this. Cover it, and we're going to put it into foils. Just like that. Now this baby can rest in the refrigerator, and when you're ready to use it, you have to take it out and bring it to room temperature. Otherwise, it will just crack, and we don't want that. So I'm going to pop that in the refrigerator, and then I'm going to continue this process pretty much on and off all day long till I have all my pies ready to go, because I am the pie dougher. So as I said, I will be back tomorrow, and we can work on some tarts and maybe some scones and some other fun stuff. All the stuff I no longer eat, but it's still good. Oh, I wanted to show you that flour. Okay. This is the low-carb flour I bought. You can see it. It's got 40 calories. It's got 2 grams of carbs. 2. And it's got protein in it too. It's got 8 grams of protein. So this is a good alternative if you don't want to use it. It works just like all-purpose flour. So we playing around with this, and I'll probably do some scones with this just to give it a shot. It's pricey. It's $5 a bag, and it's small. But if it's something that I can eat without my legs blowing up like balloons, it's great. So we'll give that a shot, and I'll let you know how it goes. Now I'm off to go use my egg whites, so I'll give that a shot too and see how that goes. And I'll be back tomorrow to do some tarts. Hello, everybody. I can't see all the comments, but I really appreciate you being with me. I can see that there are people online, but I hope that this inspires you to make your own pie dough and make your own pies. And we can also work on filling tomorrow too, so we'll do some of that too. All right, till tomorrow, my loves. Have a great day. I'll see you tomorrow. Have a nice Thanksgiving if I don't catch up with you. Love ya. Bye.